Yeah, what's up? You Star Trek out here.
This is Big Collections, a series where we'll dive into the world of collectibles and the people who collect them, covering everything from video games, retro toys, collectible cards, sneakers, and everything in between. On today's episode, we're catching up with Arrol Lal. He's the organiser of one of New Zealand's biggest retro collecting events. We'll be sitting down to discuss how he got into collecting and diving into his treasure trove of 80s and 90s nostalgia.
Thanks for sitting down with us, Arrol. I've got the first question. How did you get into collecting?
So I've always been doing it since a kid. You know, your parents were always like, oh, sell this shit. When you get married, your wife's not gonna like it. But then I got married. Wife loved this stuff probably as much as me, and she even helped me start the business. So since getting married about 8 years ago, it's sort of just skyrocketed the collection, you know. And yeah, this is everything you see is about 8 years of collecting. So I want to say the last 8 years, that's when it sort of properly started, because everything I've had since a kid, you know, how does your parents make you sell it or whatever, yeah.
For you, what's the main thing you like to collect and why?
You know, I've always been trying to figure that out, and this year I think I've sort of narrowed it. It's just stuff that's nostalgic to me, stuff I grew up with, or stuff that just looks really cool. So everything you see just sort of fits that category.
So within your collection,
Yep.
What do you think the highlight is?
So for me, highlights are things that are memorable for me. It's all making these memories. Do you want to see some stuff now?
Sure. Well, Arrol, there's a lot of stuff here, but there's some few things that I'm looking at and I'm like, I want to know more.
Yeah, sure.
What the hell is this?
Oh, you never played these growing up?
No.
All right, so this is the Comtech for Star Wars. Basically, you put these things on and it'll activate like some voice function on this.
Yeah.
So that one is for Yoda, so he'll say something on there. What's cool about this is that in the movie, the prop was just a lady's shaver, which they modified, and you can sort of tell that's what it looks like. Yeah. So that's yeah.
Kamen Rider? Big fan of Kamen Rider?
So funny enough, no. What I grew up watching was Masked Rider, which was like a white guy. But I'm getting into that universe now because I want his toy. But then I saw these guys and they were really cool and they look amazing. So yeah, I'm sort of delving into it. The top up here, Stranger Things. That's one of the newer shows I've watched and love it. Absolutely love it. It's amazing. And then more of the Pokemon. I'm a massive Pokemon fan. Always have been.
Have you watched this at all? I see this here.
No, I haven't, but I love my anime. I'm always collecting and I'm always like, I'll watch it one day. That's always my thing, and it'll be like 10 years down the line. That's when I watch it.
Of course, you got some classic cars here.
Yeah, so I was telling you before where, you know, Batman, the animated series, still one of the best shows of all time. And that Batmobile is iconic. Even the design, the style, you know.
Timeless.
Ghostbusters, of course. Back to the Future, one of the few movies I've given a 10 out of 10.
Of course, Shrine to the greatest Jedi of all time.
Yeah, a little Obi-Wan Jesus sort of shrine, yeah. And more episode 1 stuff.
Of course, we've got your cabinet.
Android 18, she's badass, Wonder Woman, etc. And it goes on.
Do you ever use these for any?
I don't use them, but I'll play around with them. Yeah, just because they're fun. Do you want to play? That's just a...
I thought this was
No, it's not real. I don't like real weaponry. It's cool. And I'm a massive Lord of the Rings fan. Like, you know, got the tattoos and everything. And
That is sick. So you've got a lot of video games.
Yep.
What is your favorite console?
It's very hard to pick one. I think it's going to be Super Nintendo, or it's not a console technically, but the PC. I'm hard into the PC because even the Super Nintendo, I emulated that. Growing up, I didn't have a console. We were sort of the poor family, so yeah, everything I did was on the PC. And then later we got a PS1, you know, PS2, etc. But PC and Super Nintendo, that's my picks. Current favorites though is Nintendo Switch, because of how there's so many games that are co-op, like couch co-op, where you can just sit with your friends. And honestly, when my friends come over, we just end up playing the Switch.
So I see you even collect these like old school LCD.
I love games like Battleship, Yahtzee, and so I'll try and collect. Like I got more Yahtzee games here than Battleship. And this, did you ever play this, Pass the Pigs?
I have.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, my parents would not let me play Pass the Pig because the pigs end up humping each other.
And I think you lose all your points if they do that.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Nightmare or Atmosphere, another one I loved playing growing up because, I don't know, do you remember? Did you ever play it?
Isn't that the one that you put it's like a VHS?
It's got a tape, yeah, and there's like a timer type thing, and it's cool. As you play, this guy talks to you.
So, You want to play the game?
This is great. This
Yeah,
is
tell us about
a
this.
friend of mine called Kelly. He made this from scratch, like out of XPS foam and other stuff. And I was like, this is going to suit my turtles so well, and that's what they're. And we got KV as well.
Yeah, I can
love my
understand.
meme toys.
Yeah, I can understand the Turtles and
Yeah.
Spider-Man. And
Well, he's an internet guy. He's very funny, and I was like, he's pointing like, look at this, you know. I like him.
if you think back to your childhood, do you have quite fond memories of that kind of thing? Gaming at a friend's house?
Oh,
and-
see, even like the Game Boy, that was one of my first consoles that I properly enjoyed. We would play Pokemon all the time, and remember the day for ages we saved up for a link cable, and my friend got me a link cable for my birthday, and it just blew my mind. And then we were trading all the time, and you know, battling here and there. And then at school we did it too. And with console games like PS4 and stuff, you don't do that. It's all just multiplayer and stuff now, right?
all online.
Yeah. So the Switch is what is bringing that sort of memory back again. You know.
Yeah.
So that's why, yeah, I love that.
I see you've got a little bit of a collection of Game Boys and stuff down here. You're a bit of a Game Boy.
Yeah, hard into the Game Boys. That was my very first console that I actually properly loved. And coming from a very poor family, that was crazy for my dad to get that for me. But he did. He saw how much I wanted it, and yeah, it stuck with me ever since. So that and the PC made me a gamer. Yeah. And then Pokemon. You'll see heaps of Pokemon stuff. I just love Pokemon, even now.
What the hell is this?
That's super cool. So it's basically like a video player, and the videos it plays are like these little discs.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
the screen that comes up, it's kind of like a Game Boy screen. The quality is so bad, it's just black and white. But I was like, this is cool, you know? And I've got Fear Factor discs as well.
You got a Game Gear and a Lynx?
Yep.
How did you get your hands on a Lynx?
Again, just people trading in stuff or trying to sell their stuff. A lot of stuff comes through here through the main business, so that's how it's been easy to collect all sorts of things. Because like maybe a big bunch of stuff will come in, and I'll be like, well, I'll keep this and that, and the customers can have this. So it's been quite easy to accumulate stuff. Oh, another
So
sword.
the business kind of helps you
Oh, it helps so much.
collect,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
also kind of maintain
If I didn't have that business, my collection would probably be like one shelf full
Yeah.
of things, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so all of this has come from the business, so it's been great.
If you look at your collection,
Yep.
what do you think the three most rarest items are?
To be honest, nothing is truly rare here. Everything is replaceable. So in that sense, honestly, nothing. It's just all special and memorable to me. Nothing stands out as truly, oh, this thing's rare. I know rare is something that gets put out all the time now, especially on like online listings, but that item is never rare, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, do you think you're the type of collector where, you know, a lot of collectors, what they do is they'll just buy stuff that they think is rare and collectible. When I look at your stuff, I feel like there is a little bit of a story behind everything. There's like a purpose or a
You've
reason
nailed
you've
it.
got
Yes. Actually, going back to the question before, I thought of two things that are semi-rare. Three things. Only because those items were signed by someone who either worked on the game or worked on the movie, or is someone who was involved. So those three items are truly rare. You can't get those again. This, my Switch Lite, which I still play on today. Special because first, I'm a fan of Pokemon, and my wife got this for me on Christmas, so I love it. Let me show you this. So Final
what have
Fantasy
you got
6.
here?
Right. So that's one of my favorite Final Fantasy games of all time. People are like, oh, 7's awesome. But I feel like 7's only good if you sort of grow up with it. If you compare it with the other Final Fantasy games, this one's much better. And yeah, again, that was one I played on the SNES.
Playable. I was going to say,
Yeah,
it comes
I know.
with the Final Fantasy X, but then I was like, did they make a demo for PlayStation, but it says PlayStation 2 only?
Yeah, so that's why I had to get both, because that's the fat case version and that's the normal. And I was like, we were talking about that before. I'm one of those guys, if there's a game I love, I'll try and collect every version of it. You see Fallout stuff here. I love my Fallout as well. So you got the dog there. This is cool because I met the developer who made this, and he signed it with an amazing message. And this was after meeting me once, so check that out. Arrol, enjoy the game, yellow bowling bastard. Yeah. Oh, there's more games by the same creator, the same team, so Rainbite Studios. They made that game Reverie. This is what he signed in the second one, and that's what he signed in the third one. Just simply bitch, you know, that's nailed me. You know, that is probably one of the most prized possessions. It's 999 or 999. It's part of a trilogy series, and honestly, one of the best games of all time. And that's still sealed. And yeah, I was lucky to get that pretty cheap. Again, on the groups you'll find good deals every now and then, you know. And then actual gaming, you know, some Switch games, like I was saying, moves on to PS3 and PS4, and they're in PC.
Lara Croft, Tomb Raider.
I mean, the original games were, well, the first one at least, was really good. That is a special collectible edition of that game. Very hard to find. It's not worth a lot though. You can pick them up for about $100 nowadays.
This,
this.
whatever this is, looks crazy.
Yeah, so it's basically a fishing game for the Switch. It's kind of like Pokemon, but with fish. And it comes with the fishing rod attachment as well. You fit it on your controller. You can spin it. Yeah, there's like a little toy there as well. I haven't played it, but it looks cool. And the gameplay videos look great as well. I'll play that one day.
Yeah, how many of these, how many games do you think you have? And what would be the percentage of games that you've played?
I want to say half. Most games I generally try straight away. Some games I'll buy and I'll be like, I'll play it one day.
Yeah. So do you think how many of those, say 50%, have you actually completed?
Oh, maybe like 5. There's just no, when you got kids, there's no time to finish games every now and then. One of the newer games I did finish was this one here, Elden Ring. I'm a massive Dark Souls fan, and that was their next game, so I was like, had to buy that day one.
Of course you got.
And I'm so glad I did.
You've got old Gordon here.
Yes. One of the best games of all time again, and I'm just so sad that there's never going to be a third game at all. Yeah, sucks ass. But this is a recent sort of purchase. I mean, I import stuff, so I bought a bunch of these, but kept one because I love Yu-Gi-Oh, and that's iconic, you know. Might get Blue Eyes one day, but for now, he's the best.
I don't know why, but it's very kind of jarring to see Yu-Gi-Oh characters in 3D for some reason in my eyes. I've always kind of looked at them as 2D, and the level of detail on them is like crazy. Yeah,
these KFC
classic
mugs.
KFC mugs.
These are awesome. These came with your KFC back then, and they used to give you cool shit. You know, now they give you like a plastic cup or some bullshit. But imagine getting that now. You know, these are cool.
You have a game that I don't think I've seen anyone else play, but I used to play it so much as a kid, which is Champions of Noraf.
Yep.
It's like a...
Yeah, and that's a classic. Not many people have played that, but good old RPG games, you know. Here's another one that maybe not enough people have played. Shadow of the Colossus. That was amazing when it came out. Even now it's great, but when I played this on the PS2, it was like mind-blowing. I couldn't believe it, you know. How
do you think people perceive you and your collecting? Like, how does your wife feel about it?
She helped me start this. Like, she loves it. Even my parents, they loved this as well. I didn't expect that. Like, when I was younger, they were like, "Oh, stop collecting this and that." But now that they've seen that it's part of my work as well, business, etc., they enjoy it. They enjoy what I do. They're proud of the event that's happening, and they've been a big part of this from day one. Okay, Mega64, if you don't know them, they're an amazing YouTube group. They do parodies and stuff on gaming. And I typed Mega64 on Raid Me one day, and someone was selling all their signed stuff. So I have a lot of their signed memorabilia. So I was so happy with that.
Star Trek, your big love, I guess.
Oh, it's so big, and I went backwards. I started with Voyager, then Next Gen, then Deep Space Nine. I kept going back and then the original series, and then everything else. But yeah, everything Star Trek, I love it.
Yeah, what's up? You Star Trek out here. It looks like in this corner, it's Star Trek. There's a lot of Star Trek.
I mean, again, I'm massive into the Star Trek stuff. Even the new Discovery stuff, people shit on it, but it's good. Yeah, so it's all Star Trek, and I try and pick stuff that I sort of know I've seen.
So it looks like you got like quite a few
Star Trek.
Yeah, old school kind of Star pieces.
These
Star Trek
are actually the older ones. Yeah, there is a new one of this that came out. I did buy it, but it's not as nice as this. So I just gave it to my son to play because he likes Star Trek as well.
This is definitely old, right? The shuttle.
So that shuttle, yes. Basically every ship here, they're the older ones. This is, it's a piece of, it's actually a meteorite, but someone engraved it with a Star Trek symbol. But even just as a meteor, piece, that's amazing. See that shine?
Yeah, I don't think many people can say that they've got
A piece.
meteorite.
But anyway, it's mine now. And then down here, you telling me about the Transformers.
Oh yeah, I saw the Jetfire and I was like,
Yeah, this
that is
is
dope.
the best. In my opinion, one of the best Transformers ever. And I just love spaceships in general. So this was a Transformer. I was like, Dad, can you get this for me? And I've held it since. Yeah.
I gotta say, there's a lot of stuff in this room, but
That's your
the
favorite?
one thing that made me hard is that, honestly, I have a thing for Transformer toys, and I don't know why. I think it's just the ability.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
You get, it's like, it's a deal, right?
No,
you get two toys for one.
Yeah, 100%. This is awesome. This was signed by, and these are actual signatures, signed by both captains. And again, it's worth thousands, but I picked it for 100.
Here's a tough question.
Okay, bring it. Let's go.
What is your biggest regret buy?
There's an item I sold quite a while back. It was my Lord of the Rings collection, and I properly regret that now. They're all sealed, and I'm trying to find them again, but since Rings of Power, it's just skyrocketed. These are the toys, the original toys back then when they came out, and those were just beautiful toys, like nicely detailed and cheap as well. They were like $20 each, and I ended up selling them all because sometimes I'll sell things, I'll be like, oh, I can always get it back again. But I realized later that certain things you can't get back again at the same price. That's the thing. You can get it back, but it'll be more expensive. I'll find them again. Everything always ends up here, so yeah.
What's the most fucked up thing you found in a box? Say when you bought a game.
When I first started collecting and stuff, sometimes I'd get like consoles, like old ones, and I liked opening up and fixing them. I could do that. Sometimes the console would be so filthy, they would have like bugs inside them, like dead bugs. The worst one by far was this Game Boy I imported from Japan, and holy, like I ordered a couple, and one of them though, it had them some this disgusting, like I'm sure that bug was a new species or something. It was bad, yeah, and it freaked me out. I just ended up throwing the entire Game Boy away. I was like, no, I'm not going to bother with that,
So if you're looking for a Game Boy, go down to the dump. There's probably one somewhere.
Yeah. Infested with bugs, yeah.
Yeah, infested with bugs. Let's talk about big box PC games. It's
Okay,
a
if you
lost
want.
art form.
That's one of the recent ones I got in, just because I love the monsters. I mean, I love the show, and I'm never going to play this, but actually, maybe that looks cool.
Nightfire.
Yes, Nightfire. That's awesome. In my opinion, one of the best James Bond games ever. Do you look? So this here, one of my favorites as well, Jedi Outcast, the second one. Great story, and I wish they'd made a movie out of this, but
This one
awesome.
is such a random piece of
yeah, but it's an awesome game. Help with it.
it's such a random piece of gaming history. I don't know if you've ever played this.
It's on PS2 as well.
Giant Citizen Kabuto.
You could play basically that magic girl, or these guys who shoot people.
It is a strange as if game.
It's really funny, but it's a great game.
I miss, there was an age of PC where they used to release PC games and they were like the weirdest, like you could do whatever you want. I remember playing, there was a Star Wars game and I've never found it. It was a Star Wars game set on Naboo, and it was fucking like Zoo Tycoon, but for Naboo, and you grew
wow.
creatures and shit. And
I think I might have that.
What?
Yeah, I'll show you later on, but this is probably one of the weirdest ones.
What
and
the
I
hell
bet
is
no one's
that?
played. It's called Space Bunnies Must Die. It's like a sister gets kidnapped or something, and then she's on a mission to kill these space bunny aliens.
Is that like female Duke?
Kind of, I guess, but the gameplay was kind of bad. But this was one of the first PC games I played. My friend had a PC, and back then it was like,
That looks sick.
you didn't really get to choose. It's like, this game's available, you can play it or play nothing. So I was like, okay, we'll play this. And this is just proper nostalgic for me.
Is it a shark with T-Rex?
Yeah, it's a shark that's morphed, that's sewn up to a kangaroo, yeah. That's what the game was. It was weird shit, And that's one of the space bunnies, again, fused with a human. Yeah, this was a kid's game. I mean, what's the rating? Oh, well, it was M15, but back then kids played this.
Did you ever did you ever go to United Video, and did your United Video have PC games there?
So my United Video didn't, but my library did, and I would rent
Oh
games.
yeah, that was
But I would only rent one game from there, which was this one. That's my Star Trek big box PC games. That game I would rent like every week basically, and then yeah, that is like kind of like Quake, but in Star Trek, I guess. It's serious. It's one of the best first-person shooting games of all time. It's such a great game, not just a Star Trek, but it's such a good game, like game-wise.
Wait, it says powered by Quake 3, so is it a mod?
It was made on that engine. A lot of games were, but that's why gameplay-wise, it's solid. It's so good.
How good are you at 3D chess?
I've never played it, but it's playable. I will play it one day. I'm pretty shit at normal chess, but you know.
I don't think I can even play chess.
This is awesome. This was signed by, and these are actual signatures, signed by both captains. And again, it's worth thousands, but I picked it for 100.
Arrol,
Yep.
thank you so much for having us, and
Oh,
thank you for
thank
showing
you, man. Thank you to you both. All right. I mean,
your collection.
Thank you.
Where can people find you on the internet?
all right. So if you want to buy stuff, this is the website and the Facebook link, right? And for the event, this is the poster and the Facebook link. And I'm happy to do deals, etc. if you want.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll see you at the retro event
100%.
on 3rd
Yes.
of December. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching. This has been Big Collections, and we will catch you next time.